Hi friends, and welcome back to a brand new series. This is the What the is Common Sense. Coming up, what the fudge is common sense? Are you kidding me? In my book, that's just plain dumb. According to the dictionary, this is the definition of common sense. Common sense is the basic ability to perceive, understand and judge things that are shared by common to nearly all people and can reasonably expected of nearly all people without the need for debate. But here's the catch. Common sense is neither common nor sense. There's not a whole lot of sound judgment going on these days. So it's not common. Have you ever thought about that? People don't use sound judgment these days. Because if common sense was common, then most people wouldn't do half the dumb things they do today. They wouldn't take such bad decisions every day of their lives. People wouldn't buy stuff they can't afford. People wouldn't run up credit card bills that they can't pay. They wouldn't smoke cigarettes. They wouldn't do drugs. They wouldn't put processed foods in their body. They wouldn't gamble. What else? Oh yeah. And they wouldn't be tweeting pictures of their private parts to strangers. Yeah, right. Don't do that. That's just plain dumb. So in other words, people wouldn't do a multitude of things that are clearly not good for them or not good for others. So what's so common about common sense? Common sense isn't real sense. If we define sense as being sound judgment, because relying on experience alone doesn't usually get us enough information to draw reliable conclusions, then in that case, I think common sense is a contradiction in terms. Is it seeming too complicated to you? Because it's actually quite easy to understand. Maybe you'll need to rewind and watch this video a couple of times. In fact, I think that so-called common sense is a fallacy that has been foisted on us by our culture, our ideology. Any ideology that wants to tell us that we should think and do, that prefers us to be stupid, ill-informed, and poor decision makers is baseless. It's rubbish. Now, the dictionary says that the basic ability to perceive, to understand and judge things. So let's take the first one, perception. Does anybody know what perception is? I know I can't hear you, but quite a few of you know what perception is, or you know what it is, but maybe you can't explain. So let me explain it for you in simple terms. Perception is a person's interpretation of the situation through his or her five senses. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your touch, yeah. Okay. So real sense can rarely be derived from the experience alone, because most people's experiences are limited and very subjective. It depends upon a lot of factors like society, peer pressure, upbringing, values, religion, spirituality, beliefs, paradigms, and what you sense through your five senses, etc., etc. Okay? So one person's perception about protecting a child on the street by walking the child on the inside of the road may not be the same as another person's perception of walking the child on the outside, because in this person's perception, as long as he or she is holding the hand of the child is safe. So you see, both perceptions are different. They both want to protect the child, but the way they're doing it is different because of their perceptions of the same situation. The next one, what about understanding? Well, here again, this depends upon your ability to grasp and understand the situation. This is obviously going to be colored by your education, your logic, your empathy, your communication, how you view the world. So for instance, if you understand that 2 plus 2 is 4, and you say something like, that's just common sense. I mean, come on, 2 plus 2 is 4. Let me ask you a question. How would that be common to a person who has never studied mathematics, who has never lived in a formal education setup, who lives somewhere in the land of the Aborigines? Just saying. Think about it. And last but not least, we come to judgment. Wow, this one is a biggie. Judgment. The very word judgment, sometimes it can be so, what do you say, like a looming thing over your head. Judgment just has no place in the arena of common sense. Again, this is so subjective and colored by so many things. Judgment has nothing to do with what is right or wrong. In a broader consensus, just because somebody said, somebody made these rules, somebody wanted us to do this or that. A person's judgment is based on his perception to a large extent and his ability to understand that situation. Only when you understand a situation and you perceive a certain situation, only then you can make a judgment, right? So again, all three of them are very interlinked and there's nothing common sense about them. In my book, common sense in the conventional sense is just plain D-U-M-B. Yeah, with a capital D, dumb. There are some ways in which people can engage in a more sensical thinking. It's neither common or it could be either common or otherwise. Firstly, we can begin our inquiry with an open mind. Something solely lacking in matters both trivial and substantial these days. Without being receptive to answers that we may not want to hear, we might as well just ask ourselves, what do we want to hear? What do we want to be? And just go with that. Secondly, we all establish hypotheses that we would like to see affirmed. Whether, when we're seeking answers to questions in our lives. For example, about relationships. Like say, I know she likes me, or the economy is definitely picking up. But to have a hypothesis or to strengthen this hypothesis, you need much more than just some foregone conclusion, that the world is round. I mean, that's so general. There has to be some importance, some perspective, some alternative hypothesis. Maybe the world is round or maybe the world is square. I mean, I know I'm drifting a lot into something that seems to be a little bit complex, but just considering that there might be answers out there other than the ones we want to ensure that, we think are right. This is just an excuse for affirming our own beliefs. Third, we can collect a sizable sample of data that is more likely to represent the population out there who, for instance, just asking friends their opinions about an issue, which are similar to your own issues. We ask others, particularly those who we know have a different opinion than us. So basically what I'm asking you to do is, I'm asking you to step out of this perception, this box about what is common sense according to people, and think for yourself. Because absolutely in my mind, there is no such thing as common sense. I've explained it in great detail in this video and I don't want to go over it again, but I think you'll need to watch this video about 2 or 3 times. So the next time someone says to you something like, that's just common sense, chuckle to yourself and think, is it? Is it common? And does that really make sense to me? Stay true to who you are. Be brave, be bold, be unapologetically you, and be possible, because I'm possible and so are you. And there is nothing common sense about that. It's very subjective, but we're all unique. So with that, take care and see you in the next one. Hi, my precious person. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, give it a thumbs up and then hit that red subscribe button. If you benefited, share my channel and pay it forward. And if you want to keep up with my workshops, my webinars, and get tons of free goodies and free downloads, hop on to avrilsqs.com. I'm possible, you're possible, and we're in this together. So let's make a difference. Let's not waste any time. Let's do this today. Thank you.